Today is September 13th. It is Saturday. Now, the past few days here, people have been asking me to comment on the Charlie Kirk assassination. What's my assessment and that stuff? I know that on September 10th, people were trying to get me to basically put out a call for war to justify them to start attacking leftists over this. I'm going to start out by saying that I was not a follower of Charlie Kirk. I was aware of him. I did not follow him closely. I would see him mentioned in articles and stuff that I would read, hear him mentioned in different independent news media reports and stuff, and occasionally YouTube would have some of his stuff in my recommended feeds. I would watch it. Thought it was interesting. Basically, he was trying to do the Louder with Crowder thing, where he would go to leftist areas, especially campuses, and try to talk with the leftists there. Try to talk with those students who are admirers of socialism. Try to reason with them. Charlie Kirk, by my understanding, is a moderate. He is one of them who was willing to talk to the other side, to reason with them, to get them, try to see our side of the point of view. Basically anyone who's to the right of Mao Zedong. And he was also trying to get us to see what is the leftists' point of view on this stuff. So September 10th in Utah, around 12:30 local time, sniper took a shot, nailed him in the neck. And reportedly, he was pronounced dead at the hospital. I did see the unedited footage, and you could tell by the way the blood was spurting out of his neck, he wasn't going to last very long unless someone did immediate emergency first aid, such as, well, as Kentucky Ballistics did, put a thumb in it. Get something in there, block that hole in the artery, because that's clearly where it was hit. If you guys want to know what arterial spray is, that's what it looks like. The blood was just spurting out of there with every heartbeat. That was arterial spray. He was hit in a major artery. So the chance of him surviving was less than 1%. Especially from what we seen on stage. No one got up there right away to plug it and all that stuff. Every heartbeat was shortening his lifespan. Now the shooter has been captured, has been identified. His name is Tyler Robinson, 22 years old. He is a third-year student of an electrical apprenticeship program of a community college, it looks like. Now, from the information that's come out, the Robinson family overall is very Republican, very conservative-minded. Tyler was wanting to be the individual, so he wanted to be different than everyone else in his family. He started following leftist ideology. According to some of his friends that went to school with him, that knew him, it started in his sophomore year in high school. He started espousing more left-leaning views. Once he got to college, that is when he just went completely over the edge in leftist ideology and radicalism. Reportedly, it has been confirmed by his roommate and others. The FBI has confirmed this. Tyler was a member of multiple Antifa chat rooms and groups online. It looks like he was probably part of an Antifa cell out of Utah, but that has not been confirmed yet. his actual associations to different socialist and communist revolutionary organizations, we don't have a lot of intel on that so far. Now, there are reports that it looks like 2 weeks before the shooting, he was up on that rooftop scouting it out. Someone did report to the school administration. They seen what looked like a student was walking around up on the roof of one of the buildings. It is reported that the day before the shooting, it looks like he also went there to do a final recon before doing what he was going to do. It's unknown when the rifle was placed up on the roof. It's possible he did it the day before and hid it up there somewhere. Now, looking at some of the pictures that have been released of the building and the particular area where they say the shot was taken from, if you look at it, it kind of looks like he may have hidden the rifle up on that roof the day before. That roof is covered with a thick layer of gravel. Not unusual when it comes to major buildings like that. So it's possible that day before he snuck the rifle up there, had it wrapped up inside something, hid it under that gravel, covered it up so that if law enforcement came through, did a check the next day, they wouldn't find it. There's pictures of him coming up a stairwell, going up inside that building. Those were used to help identify him. That's what the FBI had put out. So more than likely, he then got out onto the roof. For some reason, no police overwatch up on the rooftops of the event. He was seen walking around up there before the event. There was people who literally took video of him laying up there on the roof before the assassination. Now, it does look like there were multiple people in the crowd helping him out. It has not been confirmed yet. The FBI is still investigating. They're thinking this stuff too, I guarantee it. But one of the people in the crowd brought up a question about should people be allowed to have firearms because of mass shootings. You know, we need to take the guns away and that stuff. When Charlie Kirk was giving his response to that one, that's when the shot rang out and he got hit in the neck. And some people have pointed it out that it looked like someone in the crowd with a light-colored hat gave a signal with the hat, waved it above his head. Then the question was asked, and then right after that hat was waved a second time is when the shot rang out. I guarantee the FBI is already checking into this. This is a theory that's been around for a couple days now. We do know that other people are being questioned over this. It is very, very likely other people were involved, but has not yet been confirmed. Now, the particular rifle that was used was a Mauser 98 chambered in .30-06. I have seen rifles like these. I've seen them at gun shows. They are beautiful rifles. These are not rechambered Mauser 98Ks or anything like that. These are actual Mauser hunting rifles with Mauser 98 actions, chambered in American hunting cartridges. They are ungodly expensive. This is not your typical leftist cheap-ass firearm that they use for an operation. This is not a Kel-Tec Sub 2000. This is not a Daniel Defense AR-15 or a PSA AR-15. This is a higher-end rifle. My suspicion is this rifle probably belongs to the father. And Dad probably didn't even know the rifle was gone. Well, how could the dad not know it's gone? Well, you don't check your weapons cabinet every single day, do you? And I got a feeling that after this, the father is really racking himself that he should have noticed the rifle was missing. Now, reportedly, the round that was fired was still in the rifle. The casing was still in there. Each of the casings were engraved, which I still kind of question on this because no one engraves ammunition. If you put anything on ammunition, you use a Sharpie. And yeah, I know that from the military. People, if they put anything on ammo, they did it on a Sharpie, and they didn't do it every single round because that stuff gets gummy inside the chamber. But that's still safer than engraving a casing where you're causing burrs on the casing, which can cause issues with chambering the round and also extraction. You also cause weaknesses in the casing that, depending on the depth of engraving and the pressure being produced inside that casing, could rupture that casing inside the chamber also during firing. Now, the casing that was still inside the chamber, the fired one, was not ejected, and for all we know, that casing did get jammed in there. That was why it was still in the rifle. Why there was no additional shots. Now, according to the FBI, that particular casing said, "Notices bulge, OWO, what's this?" Now, some people have identified this, that this apparently is a very well-known meme among the furry subculture. Does this mean that Tyler was a furry? Not necessarily. With him being into leftist ideology, it just may be something that he was aware of. Who knows? The other casings had sayings also, and I'm not going to go into those. You can find this information online. The FBI has put it out, what each casing had written on it or engraved on it. I did read an article this morning of someone who knows Tyler, who explained what the different sayings meant. So, now immediately after the assassination, I'm talking like minutes, you had people all over online posting videos celebrating it. Celebrating that Charlie Kirk has been killed. One of the worst that I've come across over the past few days here was a report. I read an article this morning that a teacher up in Toronto, the day of the shooting or the day after, reportedly played the video of the assassination repeatedly, unblurred, to their class of 10-year-old kids. So we're talking like 4th grade or 5th grade, somewhere around there. And while this video of the assassination and Charlie Kirk bleeding out, blood spraying out of his neck, was playing over and over and over and over in the classroom, the teacher was giving a speech on anti-fascism, trans rights, and was telling the students that Charlie Kirk deserved to die because he was against all that stuff. Reportedly, the students were very disturbed and traumatized by what they seen. Many of them told their parents when school was done. Those parents immediately contacted the school, and the Toronto school system was going to fire that teacher yesterday on Friday 12th, which more than likely happened, otherwise this would not have been released to the public. Reportedly down in Florida, here in the U.S., similar situations have been going on of teachers praising the assassination. No reports of the videos being played in the classroom, but the Florida Board of Education has come out and said they've received enough complaints on this that they will be taking away the teaching certificates of any teacher that is reported to have been doing this. Either posting it on social media, which quite a few have, is what the article said, and they damn sure will be firing the teachers who are spouting this stuff in the classroom to their students about how Charlie Kirk needed to die. Yesterday, Erica Kirk, the wife, did release a video, and I linked to it over on Telegram, talking about the death of her husband. One of the things that she said is, "You have no idea what you unleashed." That this will not silence the political right. It will not silence conservatives. All the left has done with this assassination is now made 1,000,000 Charlie Kirks. I don't necessarily know if that part is correct. I don't think you're going to see too many people now who are going to come out on the moderate side going to be willing to talk to the left. I'm actually seeing the exact opposite. I've come across a lot of videos from different YouTube creators who are patriots or patriot-minded, who have been saying that enough is enough. It's no longer time to talk to the left because they clearly do not want to talk to us. They want to kill us, and they call us subhumans. So that it's time to get a little bit more physical, to take a page out of the leftist handbook. I only partially agree with that. Now, something that I don't think a lot of you are aware of, I found this out yesterday. It sounds like Erica Kirk, the widow, was in attendance at the event in Utah with their 2 young daughters. The oldest being 4 years old, the youngest being 1 year old. They were in the crowd watching Daddy as he was up on stage. They had a front row seat to seeing their father shot and bleed out in front of them. Makes it that just much more evil, doesn't it? That's the info I have written down. I'll take a sip here. No, it is not alcohol. It's just a cheap soda. Because this is something I want to be clear-minded on. And I've been thinking about this for days. Now, right after the news came out of the shooting, and I mean right after, it was a few minutes after he was shot is when someone posted the information on it in my chat room. So as it was developing, the minutes after the shooting, people were posting the latest info coming out, stuff that was being said online, and so forth. I posted right away that I have a feeling that within the next week to 3 weeks, we will see what will be called a retaliatory assassination. A left-leaning individual who's very outspoken will be targeted somewhere and will also be shot. Now, we will be told that this assassination was done by a MAGA extremist, a probably right-wing nut job, militia extremist. You get the idea. My personal feelings are, and I posted this, that this will be a false flag event done by some government around the world, whether it's the US government or another government overseas. Now, I do want to cover this here really quick. There was a lot of talk that Charlie Kirk may have been killed by Mossad because he had come out speaking against the Zionists. That maybe he was assassinated because of that. There's no indications of that right now. There are times when there are actual leftist nut jobs who do go off on their own and do shit because they're brain dead robots. I mean, they've been told, indoctrinated for years now, since at least 2015, that anyone who does not follow leftist ideology, anyone who's not Marxist, anyone who's not socialist, anyone who's not communist, is a literal Nazi, and all literal Nazis need to die. So you are going to get little leftist nut jobs who are going to act on what they've been told. So it doesn't always mean Israel is behind everything. Okay? Israel was not the reason your food got cold at dinner because you had to go take care of something. Israel is not the reason you ran out of beer. Israel is not the reason you spilled your cup of coffee. Right now, there's no indications they were part of this. Nothing stinks of one of their operations. This literally does look like, from all the info I've been getting over the past few days here, what's out there right now, it does look like this was a lone nut job who did it on his own. But there's indications there may have been others involved. And that would indicate that this may have been a possible Antifa operation or a possible SRA, Socialist Rifle Association operation. But we don't have anything confirmed on that. All we know for sure is we have a Antifa supporter was the shooter. And prints on the weapon, prints on up in the area where the shot was taken from. They talk about, oh, there was palm prints, shoe prints and that stuff. I guarantee there was also fingerprints up there too, especially on the rifle. I doubt this kid was smart enough to wear gloves as he was prepping the ammunition. I doubt he was smart enough to wipe it off afterwards and use gloves as he was loading the rifle. I doubt he was smart enough to wear gloves as he handled that rifle and every individual component on the rifle. It's a guarantee the FBI lab has torn that rifle apart and has grabbed every single partial print that could be found at any part on that rifle. And every square inch of area that could potentially hold a fingerprint on the route he is seen on the security cameras they're using, guarantee every single area around there has also been checked for prints. And that evidence will be used against him in a court case. Now, what do I think we should do? Because there are people that are calling this the next Pearl Harbor. This is the next 9/11. You know, this is the final straw. We're going to war. I would point out, no, we're not. What would qualify as a next 9/11, as a next December 7th, 1941? What would qualify as the next April 19th, 1775? It wouldn't be the assassination of a single person like this. It would be an event where you would have maybe 3 or 4 or more conservative personalities, popular personalities, independent journalists assassinated within a 24 or 48 hour period. And at those different events, they leave their little calling card. You know, social workers of the world unite type thing. That's what it would take for the right. Or how about not just one school shooting, but multiple in a single day, all belonging to the same organization. That would be a September 11th moment. And both of those situations, mass school shootings, multiple in a day linked together, mass political assassinations linked together within a 24, 48-hour period, that would be an event that history would say justifies or calls for mobilizing and fighting back. So I'm telling you right now, do not assassinate anyone on the left. Do not shoot anyone on the left unless they shoot at you first or are about to shoot you. Then you're justified in doing it for self-defense. And when I mean they're about to shoot you, I mean they're not saying they're going to shoot you. They are literally pulling out the firearm, starting to raise it on you, and you just happen to be a little bit faster or move to the side before they can get a line on you, and you squeeze the trigger to defend yourself. Any political assassinations that happen now will be done on purpose for the reason of starting another civil war. And I really want to remind all of you, what will that entail? For a lot of these kids, these Gen Z kids, they're in their mid-20s, early 20s, into their teens. They have no concept of what war is. What are the consequences? All they understand is video games, where if something goes wrong, they just reset. They just go back to the previous spawn point, start over. War is constant fear. Not just for your life, but for the lives of your buddies. It's that fear that, is that bag of trash next to the road just a bag of trash, or is there an IED in it? Is that person walking around up on the roof up there smoking a cigarette, is he watching me to set off an IED that I might be nearby? Or is he about to pull out an AK or a PKM hidden just below the parapet there that you can't see, and when your back is turned, he pulls that up and starts spraying you and your buddies? It is the fear of walking around somewhere, you think you're safe, and then a single fucking shot comes out of nowhere. And maybe it just misses you and hits your buddy. War is the fear of the next mortar attack, the next rocket attack, the next sapper infiltration attack. It's the fear of, is the next step I'm going to take on this patrol going to be onto the pressure plate of a mine that I don't see is there? War is also starvation, constantly being hungry, constantly being cold or too hot, of sweating your ass off and 100+ degree heat in the sun. It's beating down on you and it feels like you're walking through a fucking furnace. War is walking through the woods, the rain pouring down on you, and there's nothing you can do from keeping to get completely waterlogged, to the point where your feet start rotting in your boots. War is standing in a mud-filled trench with the mud going up to your ankles or your knees because it's been raining so long it doesn't even drain off anymore. War is a lack of sleep, where every minute of sleep you get is a blessing. And the next time that you're able to lay down and get more than an hour's worth of sleep continuous may not be for a week or 2 weeks from now. And that's just for the people fighting it. How about take into consideration what it is during a civil war? Because in a civil war, the war is rarely ever fought between the combatants. You also see massive abuses against the civilian population. You see the different combatants going to the civilians and confiscating their food because the soldiers are hungry, the fighters are hungry. And, well, you're fighting for those civilians, so they better give you what you want. Even though those civilians don't have much food themselves, the soldiers stripping them of what they do have. War is roundups of innocent civilians because they may have seen something. They may have heard something. They could possibly be involved with something. And then those civilians being taken to somewhere nearby and left there permanently. War is your mother, your wife, your sister, your daughter being hauled off by a group of guys with no moral compass and being used as a plaything until they either bleed out or just wish to die sometime as they're raped repeatedly. And I'd say it's a safe bet with how much pedophilia we're seeing in Gen Z. And homosexuality on both supposed sides of the political spectrum. You see it all over in socialist circles and in neo-Nazi circles. They don't like talking about it, but they'll post about it. About how much they want to fuck kids, especially kids of the same gender that they are. It happens a lot in the neo-Nazi chat rooms. They talk about that stuff. About how they can't wait to fuck some 10 or 12-year-old boy. And it ain't a girl saying it. So you can guarantee that all kids would be considered fair game by one side or the other in a civil war in this country. Both sides in the United States here have so demonized the other that they look at anyone, to include babies of the people on the other side, as a legal enemy. I suggest you go back and rewatch the Coming Civil War series that I've done. And you know what? I'm just going to attach this to that series, because I'm pointing out things to you that I guarantee most of you that are in your teens and your 20s have never thought about. All you've thought about is getting that high score. And that high score is as many kills as possible of the other side. You haven't thought about what it's going to be like when your best friend spouts a third eye in the middle of his fucking forehead and the back of his head disappears. Or your friend is standing next to you and he gets Charlie Kirked. You're engaging to the front and then all of a sudden you got blood spraying all over the side of your face, and you look over there and you get a spray of his blood right into your face, and you see that your friend's neck has a massive gash through it. The arteries have been split open and they're spraying everywhere. I guarantee you kids haven't thought about it. All you think about is that high score, that high kill count. Oh, you can't wait till you can take what you want off the dead enemy as a trophy. till you can take over that person's house and live in it because you deserve it more than they do. Even though you're not the one who was busting your ass trying to make payments on that property. It belongs to you, not them, because you're the one of the proper political persuasion. War is hell. War is suffering. War is deprivation. War is dehumanization. War is pain, grief, sadness at a level you can't comprehend. And I know telling you that we should avoid it won't do any fucking good because both sides are so fucking divided now. You don't care. As Heavy Duty Country said here a couple days ago, let's just get it over with. I'm ready for it. Is your family ready for it? Are your children ready for what they're going to see? Are they going to be ready to go to school in the morning with armed guards? And on the way to school, going past burned out businesses, burned out homes, bodies hanging from trees, from lampposts, bodies stuck on the end of pikes, and seeing people taking those bodies down but not getting them cleared in time before those little kids see them as they go past on the way to school. Are your children ready for eating once a day because there's no food in that supermarket? Because those crops in the field were deliberately contaminated to deny them being used by, quote unquote, the enemy. Or that grain elevator being set fire to deny its use by, quote unquote, the enemy. Are your kids ready for coming home thinking that, oh, mom's said she's going to make us a pot of soup? And then when they get home, find their mom naked and bleeding on the floor, dead. Her throat slashed from ear to fucking ear to the point where you can see the damn spinal cord through the cut. And then those kids find out there is no food because the food was stolen. Are your kids ready for that? Are they? If you say yes, you're a fucking liar. That's what's coming. It's not an if, it's a when. Because both sides are so filled with hatred that they're not willing to talk anymore. And even if one side is willing to talk, which, the right side, conservative side is willing to talk, try to be logical, the left isn't because they're driven by emotion and ideology. The war will happen. You better be getting ready for it. Don't just stock up on ammunition and more firearms. Stock up on food. Stock up on medical supplies. And don't be a fucking idiot and have it all in one fucking location. Make sure you have large amounts of food and medical supplies and cash if you can spare it. Hidden. Hidden somewhere in that secret space inside your home. Buried in your yard. Hidden inside an outbuilding. Make sure it's protected against temperature extremes, against moisture. So that when you need it, it for sure will be there and you can still use it. This war is coming. It's going to be some stupid fucking hothead who'll start it. I always thought it would be because of some government action, coming after patriots around trying to take our firearms away. No, I think the catalyst will be some dickhead. Some fucking 16-year-old or 20-year-old or 23-year-old who takes a shot at somebody, deliberately wants to be seen on camera shouting slogans. Workers of the world, unite! Now's our time to overthrow the colonialist, white supremacist oppressors. And then you're going to have some stupid little Gen Z neo-Nazi shithead who will do a retaliation. And then he'll be caught and he'll be yelling slogans. For the glory of the white race, white power. Adolf Hitler was right. And then you're going to have another leftist that's going to do the same thing. Maybe he blows up a house for some conservative commentator. And then videotapes it as they're outside laughing that commentator, his wife and his kids are burning to death inside because you made sure to block all the doors. And if they do try coming out the windows, you got a shotgun with their name on it. Just waiting to take them down. Or maybe if it's a little kid, you'll watch them running around like a Roman candle on fire, screaming as you laugh at them. And then you're going to have another right-wing piece of shit. Neo-Nazi glorifying piece of crap that will do something similar to the other side. And then back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Retaliation after retaliation after retaliation after retaliation until you give the government that justification to clamp down, to do martial law, to take everyone's rights away for our protection, have to confiscate the firearms to stop the killings, have to restrict free speech so that no more violence is incited. That's what's coming. And you better prepare accordingly. When you go active during this, that's up to you. Just don't be one of the idiots that causes it to happen, who falls for the propaganda on how something has to be done. The war's already been declared. We have to start fighting. Who says? I haven't seen a single fucking event over the last few years that couldn't have been prevented if better security hadn't been provided. Law enforcement knew there was death threats against Charlie Kirk. Why wasn't there an officer or two on the roofs of the buildings overlooking that event? Not just down on the ground, up on the roofs. With the school shootings, how come there isn't a school resource officer in that school? Or teachers who have concealed carry permits so that if something does happen, they can respond quickly. Every event I've seen so far could have been stopped, but was allowed to happen. The Minneapolis Catholic school shooter had been known for a while for making threats against that school. The police had made multiple stops for mental welfare checks on that kid because of things he's posted online and was overheard saying. But nothing was ever done. There will be a civil war. And when it happens, it'll be worse than any horror movie you've ever seen. You will experience fear so deep within you so overwhelming that you don't know how you can survive. You will experience hunger that will gnaw at your very bones as you go days and weeks without a single bite of food. You will experience exhaustion beyond anything you can ever comprehend, where even as you're awake walking around, you look like a damn zombie and you're hallucinating. That's what's coming. That's what you people are asking for. It won't be quick. It won't be easy. It damn sure won't be like some video game. It'll make anything that's happened in history before now pale in comparison for brutality and the casualties that will occur. All I can do is tell you to prepare. And if the fight happens, to fight honorably. Don't be the first person to sink to the level of a godless barbarian. If the enemy does it first, then maybe respond in kind. But remember, there is always eternal judgment after it's all said and done. Not just here on earth, but what comes after. Don't go out and start shooting up leftists. Don't go out, start setting off IEDs. But you know what? If you come across any of these groups of idiots that are celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, you see one of these people walking around with a t-shirt celebrating a trans shooter, celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk, or calling for the assassination of Donald Trump. If you're able to, maybe you should just walk up, give them a good pop in the nose, knock them on their ass, and then just keep walking. Maybe if it happens enough times, maybe they'll start waking up. But I doubt they will. Maybe that next event you see getting held where a bunch of people are celebrating Charlie Kirk's death or celebrating the death of the next conservative political icon. Maybe that's when you get some of your friends together and start beating some ass wholesale. But don't kill them. Just beat them to a bloody fucking pulp. But what you do is up to you. Now, for all my engineer brothers in the Patriot militia movements, for all conservatives, for all conservative-minded individuals, prepare. It is coming. Some people say it's already on us. I don't think it is. I think we're on the edge of it. But always remember, essayons, let us try.